your sexuality is yours alone, who are open about their identities and talk about their identities. Explore different things, see what you like, see what you don't like. Hey everyone, what is up and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amanda and I create lifestyle, entrepreneurship, LGBTQ+, mindset, pop culture content, all the things, and I'm so excited for you guys to be joining. So for today's video, we're actually going to be going through a little list that I prepared of 10 things that you can do to help yourself figure out your sexuality. And I'm very excited to dive into this because I feel like this is something that a lot of people have been asking me, and I just want to share some things that I have used on myself and have went through the past few years. So let me just get out my phone with my tips that I wrote down. So the first one is to give yourself permission to explore. Your identity doesn't have to be chosen or figured out right away. Just make yourself explore, give yourself the opportunity to explore different things, see what you like, see what you don't like. Giving yourself that permission is one of the most important things. The next one is to notice who you're drawn to, whether it be emotionally or physically. See who you're attracted to, see who attracts your interest, see who attracts your physical interest, your emotional interest. Sit down with yourself and figure out who is attracting you. Like when you're walking in the street, who is like making you double take. When you're talking to someone, who's making you feel good inside. Just sitting down with yourself and understanding who you're being pulled to is very important as well. The next one is something that I wish I did more of, but honestly, I was just like scared to. It is to consume queer media and queer stories. Read books, watch shows, follow different creators who are open about their identities and talk about their identities. It honestly can help open up like the spectrum of identities for you and make you feel more comforted and comfortable, and just that this is a natural thing. Because I feel like for myself, I kind of like shied away from like consuming that media because I was kind of scared to embrace myself and scared to really like dive into that. And when I did, I was like, wow, I wish I did this sooner. I wish I consumed more queer content sooner, but it's never too late and I'm doing that now. But that's just something that I think can really help you. Then I said to reflect on past like crushes, past relationships, see basically who you've been kind of like crushing on. I feel like it kind of goes with who's like you're being attracted to, but this one is more so on like a physical level, or more so like people that you've been able to open up to and like have like emotional feelings for. Just kind of reflect on that, because not every single person you've had like emotional feelings for end up being in a relationship, but I think just figuring out the people that you've had crushed on in the past can definitely help you figure out where your sexuality lies. Next one is also very important, and it is to understand that sexuality is fluid. Honestly, sexuality can shift over time, and that is okay, and that is something that I had to freaking understand, because growing up, ever since I was like 12, I identified as bisexual, and then recently I did not identify as that, and I identify as a lesbian. So sexuality is fluid and it can change, and that is okay, and I had to like understand that because I was very confused with that, and I was very like, huh? Like I didn't understand how I could have been with a man and now like identify as a lesbian. But then I realized that sexuality is fluid and it's ever changing, and that's okay. That is totally okay. So if you're feeling like your sexuality is very fluid, changing, just know that it's normal, and that is totally fine. Next one is to connect with others who've been through this. Connect with queer friends, connect with queer content creators. Just finding community is super important, and finding people who can like help you through it, or like if you have any questions or like anything, just make you feel more seen, is super important. The next one is to not force labels. You do not need a label. Some people love to like live life and just go by queer, or just say that they're fluid, and that is perfectly normal. That is perfectly valid. And if you don't feel like you want to label yourself, that is okay. And just know that like you don't have to figure it out. You don't have to figure out a label. I personally just feel more secure in myself and like my sexuality when I have a label, but some people feel more secure in themselves and their sexuality when they don't have a label. And just know that neither or is right or wrong. Whatever works for you, and that's what's most important. Going off that, my next tip is to pay attention to labels that click with you and feel good with you. If something feels good with you or like clicks with you, it might be something worth exploring. Like if you hear the term bisexual and you just feel really connected to it, maybe explore that. Or if you feel very connected to the word lesbian, explore that. I think if anything has like a sense of connection to you, I think it should always be explored. Never let yourself have regrets or like questions. I think exploring is totally fine. And yeah, my next tip is to practice self compassion. Have self compassion for yourself. Figuring out sexuality can be confusing, complicated, lonely. Like you can feel all these stressful feelings, and sometimes it is very stressful. I was very stressed when I was trying to figure out the kind of like bisexual to lesbian pipeline I was going through. Like it seriously stressed me out and confused me more than anything has ever confused me before. And I felt very like lonely and afraid in that process. And I had to realize that I had to give myself self-compassion. I had to just give myself the grace and give myself space to feel these things and to just really understand these things and understand what I was going through and what I was feeling. So give yourself that self compassion, give yourself that space to just feel everything. You're honestly growing into something so beautiful, and learning more about yourself is such a beautiful thing. So don't be too hard on yourself. And the last tip that I have is your sexuality is yours alone. You do not owe anyone an explanation. You don't owe anyone a timeline. You don't owe anyone proof. Whatever you feel and whatever you label yourself as or whatever you want to be known as is valid, and you do not need to explain that to anyone. I feel like when I went from being bisexual to lesbian, I had to explain to everyone, like, this is what happened, this is how I felt, this is how I knew. And then I was like, these people don't need to know those things. Like, if my friend asked or someone close to me asked, like, I'm comfortable with sharing, but I don't need, like, you do not need to feel like you owe people that. You don't need to feel like you owe anyone an explanation as to like why you're exploring this or how you're exploring this or why you know you're this or that or whatever. You do not need to explain that to anyone. You do not need to show proof to anyone. That's the one that gets me the most, when like I see people online being like, I'm lesbian, and they're like, have you kissed a girl? Have you had sex with a girl? Do we need, like, does someone need to prove that to you to like be valid in their sexuality? Absolutely not. People do not need to prove anything. When people are straight, they don't need to prove that they're straight. So why do people in the queer community have to prove that they're queer? You don't. But yeah, anyways, that's my 10 tips that I have for you guys today. I hope this helped anyone watching this. If you have any other questions or feel confused about anything, comment them down below and I will be happy to answer. But yeah, I hope this helped somebody, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.